Hey guys, this is a 15th update on my 2/5 scale Sherman M4A3E8. So I got a bunch of the upper hull done. So it's all made out of half-inch plywood half-inch plywood that's been screwed to 2" by 2" wood, and it's glued. So here's the turret drive mechanism. How I did it is use a number 35 roller chain, and you have to cut each link on the side so that way it sits flat and is curved. And then I've got two power rails. They're copper pipe, quarter inch copper pipe that you run around it, and then there's two of those. And then I've got the terminals here. The inside one is going to be negative, the outside one is going to be positive. I had to make up these rollers here. It's a piece of 1" round stock, and I drilled a hole in the center of it and faced both ends. And then it's got an L bracket to hold the turret down. And I got three rollers. And then here I had to design the roller so it holds it down and also holds the shaft on the motor. And here's it's a winch motor, and I welded, and I got it connected to a sprocket here that drives that chain to rotate the turret. And then underneath here is I got the positive and negative contacts. How I did that, I've got motor brushes in here. There's 4 motor brushes, and 2 are for positive and 2 are for negative. So inside here I've got the pressure gauge is in here, so you can read the tank pressure, air tank pressure, and then there's a blow off valve down here in case the pressure gets too high. It'll blow off, or you can pull that to let the air out. And then I got a coupler here for my air line, so you can fill up tires or plug the main gun into that. And then the throttle's here. I made that back panel here, so the linkages have to go inside there, or through the panel. And the other side, the linkage goes through the panel. And then I had to notch out the sides for the chain to fit in. And here's the doors. I'll show you the model. So on the model, it's got the same doors as I have here. And there's 44 pieces of 1/4" dowel rod. So that's 44 feet of 1/4" dowel rod. A lot of dowels. And then I made up these handles. They're 1/2" by 1/2" wood. I just sanded the ends so it looks like the model. And then I got the strips of wood on here so it looks the same. And then here's hinges. They're 2.5" hinges, and I cut down the edges and then drilled holes in them. And then you can lift both these doors open, and then you get access to the engine. But if you need more room, this whole panel here lifts out. And so I'm gonna mount this gas tank here. I haven't done it yet, but I can mount it there. It's twice as big as my gas tank right here, and I'm gonna get rid of that one. And then I'll run the fuel line over and into there. And I still have to do my exhaust, so I think I'm gonna run it under the motor to here, over to here, and then out the back, and I'll probably put my muffler back here if I have room. Then I found a heat sink here, which I'm gonna use that to help cool down the AC compressor because it gets pretty hot. I had to drill a hole here in the plywood so I have access to this oil tank. And I'm going to use one of the existing gas caps. There's supposed to be a gas cap here. I'm going to put there's 3 caps here. I'm going to put 4 caps actually. I'm going to put all 4 on it, and then this one here will be functional. So you flip it open, and then you open that, pull that orange cap off, and then you can fill up the oil for the AC compressor. And I put a check valve in under there. I don't know if you can see it. There's a check valve in here, so the air doesn't go back into the AC compressor and then out, because it leaks out the input. And then for ventilation, I've got these doors here. Those doors act as ventilation. So the air is going to come in here, and then underneath I have to pull this panel out. In here I got to pull that panel out so the air can come out through the bottom. And then I might put fans in there if I need it, because I want it to be able to run in parades, and the parade's about an hour long, and I gotta keep everything cool inside there so it doesn't get too hot. I'll show you inside view here. So you can see the 2" by 2" wood around it for the frame. Then I still have to hook up my winch motor. So I'm gonna mount a switch in here for left and right to control that winch motor for the turret. And I still have to get a new switch, because this toggle switch is too hard to operate one-handed. I want to get a rocker switch, kind of like this one here, so it's easy to push. And then I want to have an elevation switch here, and how I'm going to hook that up is I'm going to use an AT-Tiny microcontroller, and I'll have the switch send a signal to the AT-Tiny controller, and then it'll wirelessly send a signal up to another AT-Tiny in the turret, and then that microcontroller will control a bunch of relays. So I was thinking of having a fire switch somewhere down here, and then I'll have a light switch, and then an elevation switch, and they'll all be wirelessly connected to a bunch of relays up here to control everything. That way I don't have to run extra power bars. I just run one positive and one negative. So I still got a bunch of stuff left to do on the upper hull. I got to put a bunch of detail in. And I still have to put these fenders on. I cut the fenders already. There's one that goes on this side, one goes on the other side. I got them cut, but I have to get some glue because I ran out of wood glue. And I still got to do the turret and ball nose cowling here. I got to get some bendable plywood I think I'm going to use. If you got any ideas on what type of plywood or whatever to use for this, because I have to have the plywood curve around the turret, and then I have to have the plywood curve around here. I need some advice on bending plywood. If you leave a comment in there, that'd be good. That's it for this update. Thanks for watching.